number one thing you have to do when you start a company is focus on getting product market fit. I actually think there is no formula for that. So there's lots and lots of books. Lots of people will give you advice on product market fit. You should take everything everyone says with a grain of salt because it's an art. It's not really a science. And people are trying to make a science out of product market fit when it's not. So your number one goal should be just build something and iterate quickly with customers so that you can get them to just try it once. So that's number one step. Step number two, once you achieve that, you can get people's interest, they try out your product. Step number two is actually to get them to repeatedly use your product. And that's actually harder than people think. Not that hard to get someone to actually try some technology out and say, oh, this is cool, I'll try it out, but then they'll not use it again tomorrow, okay? So step number two is, how do you get them really hooked so that they're repeatedly using it? And the usage of it is kind of going viral. That's what we had with Spark when the downloads were like increasing like crazy, right? Step number three, which is actually really, really hard and changes everything, is now starting to ask people to pay for it. And it turns out that just because you use something all the time, you don't necessarily want to pay lots for it, right? Some of the things, we think it should be free. Step number three is, can you start charging for it? And I think that actually changes the whole dynamic because people then get way more serious about your product once you start asking them questions about paying. Oh, if I'm going to pay for that, then I'm not going to accept the product the way it is now. If you want me to pay for this, that's a completely different story. Then I'm not ready to do that. Oh, okay, why not? Well, at the very least, the product would have to do X, Y, Z. Only then would I even consider paying for it. Oh, okay, why didn't you tell me that before? Well, before it was free, That's sort of the dynamic. Now, once you've cracked the code on people paying you for it and how to price it, which I think is extremely critical and important for any business, and it's also another art that's really, really hard to get right, the pricing of the product. Only then can you move on to start scaling it and scaling the business and the sales and getting revenue up. And each step here, I think it's really, really important to be data-driven and really listen closely to the customers and iterating with them. Extremely crucial. And way too many startups spend too much time building really cool technologies or products or services that they really know deep in their heart is amazing, but they haven't actually gone there and asked customers to use it or repeatedly use it or actually pay for it. And they wait way too long before they realize after 2-3 years that, it was a cool product, but there wasn't really a market for it. It just means they didn't iterate fast enough with the customers to get them to use it once, use it repeatedly, and then charge for it.
Hey Founder Fam, we hope that you loved that clip. If you did, you can click through right here to watch the full interview. You don't want to miss this one. See you there.